President Trump visited Iowa and Illinois Thursday, two states largely feeling the effects of his trade policies. The trips come just a day after the president announced he was working to ease trade tensions with the European Union. He spoke about that while in Dubuque, Iowa.
We just opened up Europe for you farmers. I said to the Europeans, I said, do me a favor. Would you go out to the farms in Iowa and all the different places in the Midwest? Would you buy a lot of soybeans right now? Because that whole soybean thing is now going to be opened up. No tariffs, no nothing, free trade. I call it free and fair. See, that's called free trade.
In Illinois, the president went on to say it's time to fix the, quote, unfair trade deals. CBS News White House correspondent Weijia Jiang joins me now. Weijia, what did the president have to say about his tariffs while in the Midwest?
You know, this was an opportunity for the president to highlight it was another campaign promise made and campaign promise kept. And that certainly was the message about his tariffs today, because he actually announced standing next to a big group of steel workers and executives from the steel industry that he was going to impose these tariffs on the EU and Canada and Mexico. And that was back in April. And he mentioned that at that same time, a week later, the very company where he was standing at in Granite City, Illinois, said that they had plans then to bring new jobs, and they did. And so this really was another victory lap for President Trump. It felt like a campaign speech, and certainly he used it to show that when he says something, he means it. And now here you go. You have jobs. You have more along the way because the company has announced a second plant will be opening too. So he certainly treated today as a celebration.
On Wednesday, the president announced Europe would buy U.S. soybeans. That's an industry hit hard by retaliatory tariffs China placed on U.S. goods. Do we know more about his trade plan with Europe?
Well, we did hear from the Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross, today on Air Force One, who said, look, these things take time, because you'll remember during that announcement with the president of the European Commission here at the White House, they only agreed to continue talks, to continue their negotiations. And Secretary Ross said it could take years, because typically it does. However, they believe they can expedite the process to actually reach a deal, because they already have the outline and the bold points on paper. And so they've agreed to work towards zero tariffs, zero subsidies, and really work on those existing steel and aluminum tariffs that are already in place by bringing down other tariffs. They've also agreed for now, as they continue these talks, to put a hold on those proposed automobile tariffs, which really would have been very crippling for many European countries that import cars here. So basically what we have is an agreement to continue the deal making, but so far we do not have a firm deal, and we do not have a time frame as to when we can expect one.
Weijia, you've also been talking with farmers. What do they say about the aid plan the White House unveiled for them?
So they are happy with the relief plan, right? Because they need that money as the U.S. and China continues to sort out their trade negotiations. But a lot of farmers tell me that this is just short-term relief, and they are worried that it won't be enough, because there's, again, so much uncertainty in terms of how much China is willing to budge, and the U.S. also, for that matter. And so as they wait for these trade deals to be hashed out, they really feel like they are caught in the crosshairs because China is now purchasing way less of their crops, and as a result they have to bring the price down in order to try to appeal to other countries to say, hey, our crops are on sale because we have the supply, but the demand is not there since China is pulling back. Now, the president mentioned specifically, as you said, that Europe has agreed to buy more soybeans. The problem there is that farmers say that's great, it does open up markets, but China was such a big customer of their crops that no matter how much more Europe buys, it's not going to make up for the deficit that China is creating as these negotiations continue. And so their message to the president is, we appreciate the relief in the meantime, but please reach a long-term deal so we don't need another relief package.
A long-term deal indeed. Weijia Jiang, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.